Сейчас у нас будет с вами воркшоп на английском языке. Я сделаю небольшой интро на русском, и ребята, Наташа и Глеб, они уже полностью переключатся на английский, так что будьте готовы. Наташа Леонова сегодня уже была с нами на обсуждении по круглому столу. Наташа бизнес-аналитик в компании DevExperts. И второй наш участник – это Глеб. Глеб, прости, я не буду называть твою фамилию, потому что я боюсь ошибиться сейчас после такого количества общения. У меня уже язык немножко заплетается. В общем, Глеб – это преподаватель, профессиональный преподаватель английского языка. Он готовит студентов IELTS. Вы сейчас услышите, как он божественно говорит на английском, и сами все поймете. Также Глеб закончил Гарвардскую школу по образовательной программе, и, естественно, он не сильно далек от IT-мира, он делал ранее курсы для IT-специалистов, и поэтому я представила вам ребят, передаю им слово, и, надеюсь, всем будет полезно.
So, guys, let's switch in English. So hello again. Thanks you for staying with us. So again, we are happy to see you all. And so let us start, and let me share my screen. We will talk in English today, and I think that it will be quite useful to switch a little bit our context, to switch the language. And let us start with a small presentation. So thanks, Anna, for introducing us, but I think I would like to add a few words. So I'm Natalia, I'm business analyst. I'm also mentor and also the teacher in our courses for BAs and for in intensive for English. And actually I have so languages in my background. So actually I'm not the IT specialist from the very beginning. I'm a linguist, and also I'm a communication theory fan. Gleb, up to you.
Yeah, hi everybody. Just in case you were curious after the introduction by Anna, my last name is Lanцmан. So my name is Gleb Lанцман, and I'm very glad to welcome you all here to the presentation. My background is in English teaching. I teach English and IELTS at Royal English. I research motivation, and I'm a Harvard graduate. So I hope we will have a great workshop today. Potentially see some of you at the course we are running in the autumn, in the fall. So back to you, Natasha, and let's get started.
Yeah, thanks, Gleb. So what we prepared for today. So we will have some kind of intro. We want to warm you up and to speak a little bit, and then we will discuss some hot analyst topics. So there is our position, the development process, and what is actually important from language and communication perspective. Then we will discuss a little bit the differences between English and Russian, and it's my favorite part. We will have a perfect practice regarding the user stories, and in the end we will have some kind of summary. So we try to summarize everything for today, and of course we will answer your question. And guys, please, if you don't understand something, if something is just unclear, please write in the chat. You could do it in Russian, but please try to speak in English and to write in English. So we will be very happy and very grateful. So then I will ask you about the little popcorn session. I will ask you to introduce yourself and say a few words about you, about your language activities, about maybe your current position. And so why do you like English, or why do you need to work in English? So just please raise your hand and speak up. So I could start for myself. So as you know, I'm Natalia. I'm working at DevExperts. It's a fintech company, and my current project is related to the exchange. And I like foreign languages, and my first language is German. English is just my second language, and also I'm studying Portuguese currently. So, guys, don't be shy. Just so raise your hand and unmute yourself. Yes, Bogdan, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. My name is Bogdan. I'm 27 years of age, and I've been in business analysis and system analysis for about 2 years now. I have started to study it on my own. Watched various webinars like we have had today, and I've been working first as a business analyst in a company which specialized on monitoring on video surveillance, and now I work in banking sphere as a system analyst, try to migrate some business processes from foreign software into Russian developed software.
Yeah, thanks, Bogdan. Nice to meet you. I think your experience is great. So, and hope that our workshop today will be also helpful. So we have 3 hands more. So Nikita.
Hi, my name is Nikita. I'm 24 years old. I'm middle class business analyst. Right now I'm working in a company with name Siberian Wellness. And so why I want to learn English in balance sphere? Because I need to relocate to Canada in 2 years in my mind. So right now I need to understand, is it possible or is it impossible to work as a business analyst in this lesson?
I think everything is possible, and I wish you luck with relocation. It's really hard, so an interesting process. Hope that everything will be as planned.
Thank you.
And nice to meet you too. Yes, we have Nikolai.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well.
My name is Nikolai, I'm 26 years old, and I'm working as a business analyst for almost 4 years. I try myself on different roles as project manager, SAP consultant, and now I'm a lead business analyst in Good Tea. For almost 5 years, I've been working on HR tech projects in Russian companies, and now I'm looking for opportunities to try myself on international projects. That's why I want to improve my English and try myself in foreign companies.
Yeah, thanks, Nikolai. I think so. Our workshop will be quite a good start point. Maybe it will be helpful. So just to understand something about the requirements in English. Thank you, and nice to meet you. Yes, the next one, Daniil, please unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a middle class business analyst and at Gold Apple. I work in this sphere 5 years, and English not useful for my work. But now my company want to prepare to open a new office in Dubai, and I think that English may be useful for its work. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my English so bad. That's all.
No worries. I think it's just good that you could speak up. And I actually, I would say that your current job sounds just as a dream job for me, because Gold Apple, I think it's the dream of every woman, of every girl, to see what is inside the amazing shop. And so thank you for joining us. We have Ekaterina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm Kate. I've been working as a system analyst since 2016. I'm 33 years old, and I can say English and languages are my hobby. I'm learning English and Japanese, and I'm used to speak English with my friends. But as soon as my friends are not IT people, we just discuss daily dialogues, and I'm not very strong in technical English. Actually, it's I work in a Sberbank now, and before I used to work in Rostelecom. All time I had a dream to take part in some international projects, but I'm not sure about opportunities now, but if there will be something, it would be great. That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Ekaterina. Nice to meet you. I think so that you have a good start already, and just speaking is good, just in every case. And I hope that you could find a good opportunity, and I think it's always possible.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And we have Dari. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
So the correct pronunciation is Dari. So my name is Dari. I am a lead system analyst in Sber. So at the current time, my team, the goal of my team in Sber is a smooth transition from legacy systems, smooth migration from legacy system to a new technological stack. In my background, I had an experience of using English in one international project. Now I'm open to opportunities to speak in English and use my English in work. So here I'd like to know more about some new things about business English and how to correctly use it in work. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And actually, banking system are so quite interesting, and also I think it will be useful. So from the language perspective, to know something new, and also I hope that it will helpful in your thorough career and activities. And we have Maria.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria, and so at the beginning, I started from management consulting after my university graduation, and now I'm a business analyst in 2 Russian IT companies because I'm self-employed, and so I would like just to be a part of an international community of business analysts, and so also I would like to work in an international company. That's why I need English in my work. So that's all.
I got your reasons, Maria. They are really good, and also, unfortunately, there's no quite a big English-speaking community. So in Russian, for Russian community, for the Russian BA community, but still we have some articles. We have a lot of EBA communities that are quite good from the information perspective, and so we will share some links in the end.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Artem, please.
Let's take one more, okay? Just for time reasons.
Yeah, sure. I think Artem will be the last, but not least.
Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I'm starting my way in BA and system analyze, and I really interested how foreign company or international company work, how business analyzed and system analyzed work in this company, and what is the difference between work in foreign company like business analyze and Russian company. Yeah, that's thanks for attention.
Yeah, thank you, Artem. I think it's quite an interesting topic. So from the difference perspective, we will try to cover it a little bit today, and so
yeah,
we'll see during the practice.
And
so,
I'm starting my way in IT in analyze, and I want to understand it more, to understand for me how much I really interested to do this, to work like analyze, and maybe it's so early to watch how work foreign company, but I think why not? It's interesting comparison will be.
I think it's never early. It's just good to start and to see and to try yourself, and also to be curious. I think it's the main topic for today, for all the workshops or the discussions, that it's very important to be curious and not to be afraid to start something new. So yes, guys, thank you for speaking up. Nice to meet you all, and I think we warmed up a little bit, and let us go to our topic for today. So we will start from the very beginning. I think you all know this picture, this diagram, so the development life cycle, and actually we will try to put on together the communication responsibilities from the BAs or CAs, and usually we are here in planning and analysis, and from the communication and language perspective, we have two main paths. We have speaking and writing, and actually as you could see from our responsibilities, we usually do both things, and we speak a lot, and we write something, we write mails, we do presentations, and everything to reduce chaos in the project and to use our special weapon, the requirements. And in our course, in our intensive, we usually try to cover both of this. Communication responsibilities, speaking and writing. And today we will try to have a look from the practical point of view, how it actually works. And back to the communication, as I already said, as we saw from the previous slide, we actually speak a lot, and it's not only the communication with the clients or the communication with the team. is just so asking questions, and it's also one of my favorite topics, to how to ask better questions, or how to ask the correct question to the customer. I did some time ago a separate presentation about the requirement solicitation process and correct and good questions. And we write documents, we write requirements, and we discussed today in the very beginning different ways of writing requirements. So we have Confluence, we have documentation as a code, we have emails, and a lot of spoken and written communication. And please don't forget about the pictures and diagrams and a lot of visualization in our lives, because sometimes we just do it by ourselves, or sometimes we need to analyze something that came from our design team or from our architecture colleagues. And so Miro boards, it's also quite popular now, and all these things are related to the communication and to some issues with language. And Gleb, up to you about the language specific.
Yeah, so here is a slide which I would like to describe to you, since I believe it's of utmost importance when it comes to working in a different language. You see, there are things that we do as Russians or native speakers of Russian in English. They are broadly described in this picture that you see in front of you. So there are 4 areas. From the from the top left corner, there are things related to the language. So we might make mistakes with those individual things on the left-hand side. The bottom left corner describes cultural differences, right? So there are some things that we do in Russian and they don't do in English, and vice versa. There are things that they do which we are not very used to, such as small talk and being positive. There are things that we do just because of, let's say, our nature or habits. So we might have different presentation and interviewing skills. And this is the top right corner of this picture. And we might also have a different, let's say, history regarding writing requirements. So we write in a different way just because of how Russian is made, how it's wired. The course that starts in the fall, it covers a little bit of language, a little bit of cultural differences, a lot of presentation and interviewing skills, and writing requirements too. So we cover most of what it is. And the numbers here that you can see next to each area of those sounding Russian areas, the numbers, they describe the relative difficulty or complexity of understanding by a native speaker of English. That is, some of the mistakes in language, they range between 4 and 7, most usually, on the 10-point scale. So they are quite severe, quite serious mistakes. So yeah, that's what sounding Russian is. And approximately these 4 areas may cause problems for you when working in English. Back to you, Natasha.
Yeah, thanks, Gleb. So we will proceed with some theoretical topic now, because I want just to remind you the I think the standard term from the business analysis, because it's a part of our practice for today, and it's actually, I think, most easiest way to explain the requirements from the English perspective. And just, I want to remind you, I think you all know what is user story, and actually, I think you all have written it, but just in case. So the user story is one of the ways to write requirements, and it's very short, and it's quite a small piece of our work, and it describes who, so the role, and what and why. So the main points here are so the person and the goal. And usually the user story is written from the point of view of the end user, but we could mix it up because they are quite a good way to write, for example, non-functional requirements in the way of user stories. But it's quite so similar. It's quite other topic. We will not discuss it today, but still it's quite interesting thing. So could share the article about the non-functional requirements as user stories. And let me remind you the template for user story. So as a customer, for example, I want something so that, and it should be so quite understandable, small, and it should bring everything together so to understand what is needed in the user story. And switch back to Gleb. We will do some practice, so just not to see only theory.
All right. I just shared a link in the NextWayConf 2023 chat, and I'm also going to share the link here in the chat here. So please let me know if you can see what's there, because you will need it in your small groups for this practice. So what you can do is just give me a like or a thumbs up if you can see this thing, or just write a plus in the chat. This would be also okay, right? I see first plus. Okay, so I see people can access the link, which is more than enough to make me happy. Now, what I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit about user stories from a BA perspective and from a language perspective. And I'm going to share my screen for that. What you can see on your screen is something similar to this. This workshop and this practical part is borrowed from the course from week 4 on use cases and user stories. So to those of you who have been working as business analysts, who have written user stories, you will most probably know that the good user story, as opposed to the bad user story, could be described with an acronym. The acronym is INVEST. And INVEST is an acronym that stands for your story being independent, that is, it doesn't depend on any other story. Your story should be negotiable, that means it can be discussed, changed, and if necessary, rewritten. It should be valuable, that means the story must give something useful to the stakeholders, must deliver value. It's also estimable, that is, you can estimate the size of the story. It's not too small or too big. You can actually understand what size it would be in production and development. It's small, not too big to plan, not too hard to prioritize, and it should be testable. So it is possible to develop a test for this story. Now, this is what makes a user story good from a BA standpoint. There is something that makes a user story good from a grammar standpoint, and this is what I'm going to handle in a minute. So here is the formula for a user story. As somebody I want to do something so that, and here's the benefit, the result, or some reason why you want to be able to do that. Here are a few examples. As a project team member, I want to know all my tasks in advance so that I can prepare and plan my time properly. As a content manager, I would like to get a weekly report of content analytics so that I can monitor the effectiveness of content writers. As a CEO, I want to get a weekly report from all department heads on their team goals so that I know whether my strategy is working or not. As a middle-aged woman on a sabbatical, I would like to earn a certificate for digital marketing from Coursera so that I can restart my career, and so on. So the first part of the formula is as a somebody that describes you as a user. I want to, what you want to do, and so that the reason why you want to do this. Now the grammar. The as part names a position in the company. Since most probably there are a few positions like this, you will need to use an article right before the position as an online trainer. This is the first part, and we separate it with a comma. The second part, I want to. Well, no surprises here. After I want to, you will need to use the infinitive, also known as the dictionary form of the verb, and you will need to separate it with another comma in this part. So as somebody, I want to, so that 2 commas right between them. So that is для того, чтобы, and this conjunction. This conjunction is a special connector that uses modal verbs. Modal verbs are verbs like can, should, will, in this case, can or will, most probably. You can also use a present tense in this part, and this is also fine, it's possible. You can have your own twist of this user story. If you wish, you can use in order to in the last part to replace so that. Let's take a look at a more detailed version of the same formula. As a somebody, I want to infinitive so that I can, will, would, could, and infinitive. And here's an example. As an online trainer, I want my profile to list my upcoming classes and include a link to a detailed page about each so that prospective attendees can find my courses. Right? So this should be sufficient onboarding, hopefully, for you regarding user stories, the invest criteria, and the grammar that is associated with each part of a user story. Now we're on to some practice. Here's the first task, and it's going to take us around 20 minutes. You will have 20 minutes in the breakout rooms. Let me tell you what the task is, and then we are going to handle this task. So yes, I think I can take the question from Piotr, and then I will tell you what the task is. Piotr, go ahead. You need to just unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, I want to ask about why you don't speak about acceptance criteria for test the user story right work. Why
so,
you not about acceptance criteria?
Well, I think we first need to focus on how to write the user story itself, and acceptance criteria are absolutely essential right? And we will, in the course, spend some time on those. However, it's impossible to write acceptance criteria without the user story itself, right? So we are starting with the chicken, and then hopefully we will get to the egg. Yeah, thank you for the question, Piotr. Today, it's all about user stories themselves. So the task is something I would like us to look at. Okay, corrective task. You have a table of 3 columns. On the left, you will see a user story. In total, we have 6 user stories, which is a huge number. You will need to read each one and understand the idea. However, each of the user stories have at least one issue, at least one, maybe more, with invest. For example, this user story, as a customer, I want to be able to save my payment information so that I can have a better user experience. The issue is we don't know exactly who the user or persona is. So just any customer may not necessarily be enough to define the user. So the customer in the user story is too broad. And then you can define it further and change it to, as a frequent traveler, I want to save my information, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So you take it from a user story to an issue, right? You write down the issue, and then through this, you take it to the solution. So you solve it and write it in a separate column. Now, there are 6 of those. We are not looking at task 2 yet. And this is what you will need to do. Now, about the format of this task, okay? We, presumably, most of us are from the Russian system of education or post-Soviet. So I will want you to participate. It might be very different from what you expect, but we are going to split you all into a few breakout rooms, I think into 5 or 6, and you will be in a group with 4 or 5 other people, which means that it will be very hard for you to hide. Okay, so in case you want to participate, this is the task for you. In case you don't want to participate, it will be very hard for you to hide. Okay, just so you know, I warned you. This was a little disclaimer. Now, I think we can start our groups unless we have questions. Any questions? Anybody about the corrective task? Yes, Nikita, please go ahead.
We'll have some groups, yeah, and
yes,
all groups need to do all the tasks.
You need to do all the tasks together. You need to discuss stuff. Oh yeah, and one important thing. Thank you for asking, Nikita. At the end of this, I will ask each group to present their answer to one user story. Okay, I don't know which one, but for reasons of time, each group will present their answer to one of those. Okay, so you will need to have a presenter. You will need to have somebody who will speak. Yeah, if your group has a Google document, a Notion, just a document to show during this time, it's even better. It's perfect. So yeah, unless we have some other questions, I think we can start those breakout rooms.
Yes, guys, and please remember the group number, so in which you will participate, because it's important. So just in case you dropped from Zoom or something wrong has happened.
Yeah, exactly. Remember your group number. This way you will find a home. And yeah, start discussing that. Okay, let's give it 1 more minute and then we will just discuss the task. We have 20 people. I don't know if we are waiting for anybody else. Probably not. Probably we are not going to do that. Okay, so welcome back. I hope you had fun. You see how active participation decreases the number of people significantly. This is a very, very well-known, almost scientific effect of active participation. So thanks for sticking here, for remaining with us. And the people who actively participate actually learn things. So you're on the right side of this. Let's take a look at what you guys came up with in regard to those stories. So let me show you my screen again for a second. We had 6 stories. We had 3 active groups. And I would like you to summarize what you think the issue is with each story and what your solution from your group is, okay? I need somebody, one very brave person, to handle stories 2 and 3. All right? Please raise your hand and the floor will be yours. So stories 2 and 3, we need one speaker who will explain what the issue is and give us a solution. I'm not calling on anybody, but I really hope that there is a volunteer. There is a volunteer.
The group number 1.
Okay, that's cool. Dmitry, your turn. Your turn.
Hi everyone. I apologize for some noise. I'm in a cafe. Sorry. So okay. First one. I think user story doesn't have valuable parts, so we need to create it. For example, I can read or write to chat our version for that. What do you think? I can read it.
Can you share your screen? You know, it's better to see the story.
On my screen? Or
yes. Yes, I think you can share your screen.
Okay. Okay. There is first one. There. User story doesn't have valuable parts, so our solution there. As frequent traveler, I want to be able to save my payment information so that I can track my balance in my credit card. It's our solution.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well done. Well
okay,
done.
Next
there
one.
There is no clear goal in this story, and you added this goal. Well done.
Okay.
What's the next one?
Next one. There is issue unclear request. What does it mean better? There is. So we change valuable part. It's frequent retriever. I want to be able to save my payment information so that I can get lower my expenses. For example, we change better this that way.
Okay. Right. Well done, Dmitry. Here's the thing. You made the right corrections here. In this story, there was a value part, but this value part was unclear. What does it mean to feel better? So you decided to move it towards something like a SMART goal, right? Expenses are easier to track than just the way you feel. So excellent decision here, top class. Now I need one more volunteer. This time I will need the volunteer to track, to handle story number, let's say stories 4 and 5. Okay. Stories 4 and 5. And it's okay if you didn't finish, for example, story 5, you just have number 4. It's fine. You didn't have to do everything. You have only 5. Okay, that's interesting. All right, Nikita. Yeah, I will remember about this. Maybe I will need to call on you then. Tash, do you want to handle number 4 for us? Give us a masterclass?
I could try.
Okay, I'll show you my screen.
Yeah, please.
Number 4, as a frequent traveler, I want to be able to save my payment information so that I don't have to enter it every time I book a flight, but it's not a big deal if it doesn't happen right away.
Yeah, we have Bogdan, and actually I think I remember the discussion.
Okay, all right. That's a very elegant way to avoid giving the master class. Okay,
Yeah, Bogdan saves me.
Guys, actually, I really wanted to like perform for my team, but I have some technical issues. So yes, we did that story. I can share a screen, but it will be phone screen. So I hope you don't mind that. Just a sec.
It's okay. We can also see your wallpaper, hopefully.
Yes, I'm sorry for the wind in my airports. So yes, concerning this story, our discussion on our team came to the conclusion that we don't have clear goal and we need to use formal language. And also one more point that we didn't write here, that actually we can just remove the last part of the sentence and nothing practically changes because idea of the stories remains the same, but we lack some unimportant information, like, but it's not a big deal if it doesn't happen right away. Of course, it's not a big deal, and we shouldn't specify or mention it like an example. So the proper way will be just to say, as a frequent traveler, I want to be able to save my payment information so I don't have to enter it every time I book a flight.
Good. Thank you so much, Bogdan. Thank you so much for this. In this story, it was hard to estimate, right? What does it mean? It's not a big deal if it doesn't happen right away. And so fixing this part is certainly an important thing to do in this story. Yeah, also using formal language, using measurable language is essential in user stories. I think there are 2 volunteers for story number 5, and because I see Katerina on the left, Katerina, the floor is yours, and then we will listen to Nikita.
Sorry, I would like to comment the previous story. Actually, I think there was an important part. I think I could get it, what he wanted to say. When the user books some tickets, he doesn't want to enter some information of his credit card, the credit card number, for example, etc. So I think this part had been. Just we didn't need. We just didn't need the end of the story.
This part, right? Okay.
Yeah, this part we don't need, but the previous is okay, I think. It's
Right.
just
I mean,
how to make the payment faster.
right. Absolutely. This part makes it worse because it's not clear whether it's urgent or important, and so this part probably must go or become measurable, right? Some way. And I believe the previous team with Bogdan, they did it quite well. Yes, Bogdan, that's what you have said. Thank you, Katerina, for the comment. Now it's Nikita and the much anticipated story number 5.
Hello again. I'll share my screen.
Can you share your screen? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yes.
So, as a frequent traveler, I want to be able to save my pay information, edit it, and also view my previous bookings and saved payment information. I thought that this user story is not automatic, so there are a lot of goals, different goals about save my payment information, edit it, and view my previous bookings. It's not quite good when one user story connect all of these principles. So I create 2 user stories, but we can create 3 different user stories for one principle: save, edit, and view previous bookings. Something like that. I won't be able to save my payment information, so that will save my time and so it will save my time and view my previous bookings, for example. But it's not so good when we connect them. It will be better if I will create 3 different stories. One for save, one for edit, like here, to edit my payment information, so it will save my time in the editing the previous bookings, like that, for all of these 3 types. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikita. You did well. This is exactly what, at least I expected you would do with the story. Just from the way it is written, it is too large, and being large makes it hard to estimate, right? And hard to prioritize. So the gut reaction, hopefully, of the people in this group is to split it up into parts, and then try to estimate and prioritize each of those. This story is hard to prioritize. It's hard to estimate, and it's not small. Essentially, it's a big one. So
and one more, we can, if we want to delete some requirement like editing or saving my payment information or viewing my previous bookings, we need to edit all of this story. So it's not a good principle. If you want to edit something, we need to change only one story, and this story can be connected with some different use cases. So it's better when we edit story and we will edit the different use cases. Got it or not? Sorry for my English.
We got your idea quite well. Thank you. No, it was fine. So you're saying that just because it's too large,
it's not automatic.
It's not atomic, automatic, right?
Atomic,
it's not small, right? And so changing one part will mean changing another part, and so it's not independent right now. It's like a domino. Yes, domino tile hitting all the others. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Nikita, and I really appreciate how you guys are working today. I don't know if there is a person who wants to handle number 6. Maybe there is a volunteer. If there is, that's fine. If there is no volunteer, that's also fine. Because, you know, we have answers, and also there is a task to complete after this workshop. Okay, well, I'll replace you, Nikita, as the person sharing my screen. Here is the thing. This Notion page, it looks quite straightforward at first, but then if you scroll down, you will see answers, okay? This drop down actually will show you the suggested answers for each of the 6 tasks, right? With the issue that is associated with this task. So in case you're interested, you're absolutely welcome to go to this Notion page and open the drop-down menu, Answers. Now, the thing that I would like us to do after this workshop is to try another important thing that BAs do in English, and this is create user stories. Not just correct, but make a new one. So in this task, what you will need to do is write 3 user stories for a Yandex.Go/Uber user called Passenger using this app, using Yandex.Go or Uber. You can interpret the task as broadly or as narrowly as you wish, and you will need to make sure the story is good. How, right? Story should be invest, right? It should be an invest story, and it should be grammatically correct. So all of the material for making it good and correct is here at the top of the Notion page. That's something you will be able to try at home. I think this task should appear in the chat called NextWayConf 2023. So that's the task you can grapple with at home. Well, that brings my part to a close. I just want to thank you all for participating. You've been great. I really appreciated having you today and the way you worked. And I like the fact that you guys stayed for the active part, which makes your learning so much better. Our course starts around the time when all the school children in Russia feel sad, around the beginning of September. And I hope to see you all there. The course is called English for Analysts with Next Way. Back to you, Natasha.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And I also really appreciate your activity because it's the last workshop for today and we all are a little bit tired. And I hope that we did not blow your mind. But let us try to do some kind of recap of summary. So we saw today that we have a lot of communication and we actually tried something. So try to correct bad requirements. It's also a hard part of our daily job. And we just wanted to show you that thinking, writing, and just do something in foreign language could be tricky. But there are some sources and me and Gleb could assist you with it. And just in case you are not sure that your language is good, just try to speak, try to do some activities. So watch movies, read books, read articles, and so just be curious. I think it's the best advice. And so I think that's all for today, and it's time for questions. If you have some. Yeah, Anton, please. Just unmute yourself. something went wrong or? So, yes, so let us ask our admins to help us with the muting. And now?
For now, can you hear me well? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, it's good.
Okay. I have already asked my questions in the chat, so I will repeat them if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So they are a bit off topic, but still, I will try. So the first question is about the English level, which will be comfortable enough to work as system analyst abroad, for example, in English-speaking country like the United States. For example, if you take IELTS, what is the grade out of 9? The 9 is maximum.
I think it's a question to Gleb. Yes, better
for me.
to.
Yeah, thank you. I can handle this. So as a person who has had a lot of IELTS experience, I assume and I understand that an IELTS 7 is certainly sufficient. This is a good level to work abroad. You will be able to understand everything work-related, right? After a week or two of adjusting to the accent, you will understand, you will work with them, you will communicate, you will say, you will do everything that the company requires. You will not be able to participate in the small talk before the work part. So you will not necessarily be able to sustain this dialogue, which is more fluent, more native, more cultural references, and so on. But a 7 on the IELTS scale from 1 to 9 is certainly a level that is high enough. Many people have successfully worked as BAs with this level. So this was an easy question to handle. I think you have one more, right?
Yeah, Anton, back to you.
And no problem. I think I can read out this question since you're having issues with the microphone. The second question by Anton was, as for, and I'm asking you, Natasha, it's like I'm asking this question, all right? As for the job market now, and in the next couple of years, in countries like Germany and the USA, are there such roles as systems analyst at all? It looks like such roles don't exist on those markets, and systems analyst duties are performed by others. If so, which roles substitute systems analysts? For example, in the USA. What about that? Yes.
Oh, it's just like a game. There is a game so calling paying for prediction. So I just can't make predictions about the market, and still I will try to answer the question from Anton. I think it depends on the company. I already wrote in the chat that there are a lot of different names, and there are a lot of roles that are connected to BA's or CA's role. And for example, there are differences in the European market, also depending on the company, because in some cases there are no analysts, they are just something more addicted to the agile world. So such kind as product owners or scrum masters. And I think so actually all analysts are some kind of product owners, because we have so quite big knowledge about the product, about the domain, about the processes, and we are all quite agile educated, I think now. And that's why that's one thing. The next thing is that there are some so standard companies as banks, for example, or just fintech companies, and they have so still both professions or both roles. So they have so separate positions for so business analyst and system analyst. And one more thing that is quite unusual, it also could be met in the European market. So the position of requirements engineer. So please don't be afraid of this profession, but it came from the IRAP certification. So as you know, there are several analyst certification, and IRAP is one of these. And here the role description of analyst is calling requirements engineer. And just in case you want to surf in Google, you can find more different names, for example, solution designer, or business functional analyst, and so on. So just check the company. I think it's the best advice in this case. And regarding the position, we already have some companies without analysts, but it's not related to trends or to something. It's just the way of the development process. So that is my answer. Sorry, it was quite long.
Perfect answer. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Anton.
We have Artyom, I think.
Yes, thank you. I have a question. I missed some conference because of technical problem. In the course, I saw course will start it on 30 August. As I understand, we will learn the vocabulary of business analyst, or we will do specification, some educational project for information system.
I think so. We just we will do some other things, I would say, because we have we will not write the specification actually, but we will try to learn how to write the requirements, because we don't have the final task, because I think we have quite a lot of practice during the intensive. We will have vocabulary for sure, because it's quite useful, and we will try to write user stories, and we will try to participate in demos, and we will try to do all communication related things that we discussed today. But the specification, the quite a big document, no. If I got your question correct.
I think I can add to this. Oh, please go ahead. Artyom, go ahead.
It's just we will make business requirement in English, yeah, most of all, and some vocabulary.
Yeah, so the way I see it, this course is for you to try yourself in a BA role, doing the typical activities of a BA, but this time in English, okay? So you try to do this. One part is requirements, one part is user stories, use cases, non-functional requirements. You do this, you try this. There are vocabulary lists available upon request, okay? So this is not part of the course, and we are not forcing you to learn vocabulary in 5 weeks. We're not doing this. But we are giving you practice and giving you feedback on how you performed. From a BA standpoint, that's Natasha, and from a language standpoint, that's me.
I want to know this. Thank you. About contents including in the course, user story, use case, as I understand, maybe markup, yeah.
Markups, no, but we will partly cover this topic, but not quite deep. We have a part of non-functional requirements, as Gleb already mentioned, because it's quite a complicated topic from language and terms perspective. And so we have also a part that is related to the presentations.
And where we can see что ли, содержание, content of the course, all content.
On the site of Nextway, we will put the link, I think, in the chat. Let us put the link in the chat because we have the agenda and the common description of the intensive.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sure. In general, it's communication and being clear, because it's important in many different areas of BA work, asking questions, requirement solicitation. I'm just clicking through Notions, interviews and demos, use cases, user stories, and non-functional requirements. So these are the 5 weeks. Okay, let's hear maybe some other questions. I see a question from Maria, and I see a question from Artyom. Okay, we handled the question from Artyom. Maria, can you recommend some educational portal or links? Anna answers Nextway English Baza. That's the best educational portal. No, I probably might need some more like context for this question. Educational portal for what? For business analysis? Maria,
for business analysis, I put some links in the Telegram chat. So just some interesting links. So there is a YouTube channel from Carl Videos. So he make small videos for analyst topics, for different topics from his book. So as golden standard for all analysts. And also I put some blogs and educational links that we use in our course, and also they are quite interesting. So from my opinion. Yeah, just so follow the chat. Maybe more questions? Going once, going twice. So I think that's it for today. And so thank you all for participating. Thank you for your activities, and hope that it was interesting. Yes, I just would read the last comment from chat from Dmitry, and I think you can add to the course as additional pay, for example, some kind of diagram for the students with the results of their skills in English. Thank you, Dmitry, for a good point. Actually, so before the start of the course, we have the entry test, and it's quite important because it's important for us and it's important for students because we need to understand your level, just so to be comfortable with the task, to be comfortable with communication. And so in the end, we also share some feedback. So for the group, maybe it's not just the result, so not the skills metrics, but still it's a kind of presentation or representation of language skills.
I think if you don't mind me adding to this, we thought of it, Dmitry, and we are so nice as to not ask you for any additional pay here. You just go into the test before the course, you see your level, it gives you feedback, and then you complete the course, and every week you receive some feedback from us on Get Course on the platform, and there we highlight your growth zones, like what you would need to do to get better in terms of English and sometimes in terms of BA work. Yeah, that wraps it up here. one more question. Okay, the final one. The final question.
I opened
and
the
that's all.
box of questions again. Sorry,
Yes.
Gleb.
Yeah, Artyom, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. If we have a time, can you tell us about the comparison, the salaries abroad, how BA estimate in abroad comparison with Russia?
Oh, it's a quite, so I think it's quite a hard question. You need to see, so for the first thing, you need to start from Russia because you need to find some statistics. So Anna told us today about the salary levels in Russia, so in different professions, and also their specific salary graphics for analysts. You could just search them there. So for example, in Job.ru, also there are some on Haber. I think so quite there are a lot of sources by us that make some kind of thing with salary levels. And then after you investigate our country, you need to choose the country that you are interested because in some from my experience, I'm not sure about all worlds, all countries, but in my experience, there are some countries that have lower level of the salaries. Some countries have a little bit higher level. Some countries are quite in the middle, so as our. You need to compare, and also they have the same graphics with statistics. Just check them.
No,
But
if we talk about US or maybe Europe.
In Europe, it's very different. So, for example, Germany has quite similar level of salaries for BAs as in Russia. Maybe a little bit higher in some companies, but still it's quite very similar to us. It's from my perspective. And for example, other countries, if we take Hungary, for example, or Spain, it could be a little bit lower. So on the south, it's lower standardly, but just check the country better. And also it depends on the time because every year, things changing.
You recommend Job.ru and Haber for searching vacation. If we talk about Headhunter, I looking for vacation at Headhunter.
Actually, it's just my advice. I would not recommend the common sources for searching the job because I think the best thing is just to make a list of companies that are interesting for you. So just you could sit down and write the companies that are that you like or that are interested. And then to go directly to the company because I think quite all companies have a list with career opportunities, or they have some blogs on LinkedIn or just on the website. And if you have an opportunity to go directly to the HRs, it would be better from all points of view because it shows your interest, it shows that you are not lazy, it shows that you are active, and actually it works faster, but it's just my advice.
Write to HR directly, yeah?
Yeah. Just select a company that is interesting for you or you're just curious about, and why not?
Thank you so much.
I wish you luck with it.
Yeah, I think this wraps it up. This was the absolute last question. Okay, no more questions at all. Thank you so much. And until next time, until we meet again, hopefully in the course. Wishing you a great day and great weekend. Yes. Bye-bye, everybody. Yes. Thank you so much.